We have as humans a bad habit to always assuming things, and especially this affects a lot in our relationships, destroys those bonds, affecting so much discord, disagreements, fights, and so on in our relationships. If things have went in a certain way in the past, it would not mean that everything is okay and everything should be stay the same always. And because of certain things have worked in the past, that they would still work in this today. We as humans, we grow and change all the time. Our perspectives change. All of us changes all the time. And so should have our behavior as changing. How we are communicating, dealing with each other to avoid certain conflicts happening. When we are constantly assuming certain things based on what is happening, what have happened, we are constantly changing our limitations, barriers, those lines that we have in certain point agreed. We are constantly testing a new lines, what is possible. And what will end up happening when both parties or even other one constantly is doing that. Both of you, all of you, are going further away each other by time. And these things start to irritate each other more and more, start to cause friction between each other. And when time goes by enough and you move enough far, it is just waiting that point when everything breaks, collapses, blow up, and that huge fight is going to happen. We can't be all the time assuming that if we did something little bit wrong and there was no clear consequences in that moment, that it would be okay to do that or continue doing that, or even worse, doing that even more radical ways. You have to respect each other. You have to create clear communication lines with each other and set clear boundaries and have respect towards each other and following through on those lines that you have agreed on. Or if you want to change those agreements, you have to communicate also concerning on those things. When you start to assuming things, you are saying to yourself that you are a mind reader and you know better. And then we are going to that ego's territory that is selfish and arrogant. And these things are going to create that friction, discord between each other, and ultimately cause those big blow-ups that are endangering your relationships, all that you have built on. These are not little things that I'm talking about. It is no coincidence that in so many contexts people always in relationships highlight the meaning of communication. It is you the better, it is your best to openly communicate ahead instead of afterwards, when the milk have fallen into the ground. When you have that clear communication line and you know each other better and how each other work, everything will work out in the future so much effortlessly and better way. You need to understand that we as humans are different. Somebody else's habit is always to always say all the things that is bothering him or her immediately. But others are stacking those things into him or her. Or some are just polite and don't want to bother each other if that thing is not so critical in that current moment. When you have that clear communication line, you avoid creating conflicts and disagreements. And also that is also a sign of your trust and appreciation towards each other. That you're willing to take account on that other person and his or her needs, and wanting to create that lasting relationship and communication line. Because end of all, those things that will permanently destroy relationships are those big fights, breakdowns that are happening because of lack of communication and assuming things so much and building certain things in you instead of openly communicating and resolving those things in the moment. So start to be more honest and willing to do your own part and respect each other, not assuming so much things. It is possible if we are just willing to let go of our egos so much and take care of each other, consider each other, and living and working together, not just thinking ourselves. That is the possibility. Thank you again being with me on this beautiful, wonderful day. It's always a pleasure, and I have started this personal coaching. The link is in the description if you are interested. Thank you again and see you next time.